pageant world and TikTok is abuzz about Miss Ohio Teen USA Kylan Darnell, and we are going to talk about it today. I'm Dani Walker. Welcome to my channel. I'm a former Miss Montana USA as well as a pageant coach and judge. If you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting that notifications bell. I really would appreciate that. And if you're currently preparing for a competition, don't forget to check out my free pageant prep course that is linked in the description below. If you haven't already heard, everybody is talking about Kylan, and we are going to talk about this today because I have some very important things that I want to share. If you're not aware, first let's talk about why she's going viral on TikTok. She attends the University of Alabama, although she is from Ohio and will be representing Ohio at Miss Teen USA this year. She was just a part of Bama Rush Week, and apparently that's a really popular hashtag. It's a little bit past my age range at this point, so it's not something that I've been following, but apparently a lot of people follow Rush Weeks for these big universities and big sororities, and so it's very popular. Well, the reason why she's been picking up so much traction, I think, there's a lot of different reasons for it. Her Instagram currently has 132,000 followers, as you can see right here. So there's lots of reasons people would follow her, but one of the reasons that people are talking about is because she wears these designer outfits. Everything that she wears is cute. Her dorm is cute. She's getting sponsorships, brand collaborations. Everybody's just coming at her because she now has become this selling machine. That's what happens. You create certain content online, and if people love what you're wearing, they want to know what it is and they want to buy those pieces. So everybody's following her and she's really blowing up. But what really has drawn a lot of attention was another young woman created a TikTok about her, and she openly confessed to being jealous of Kylan. And she did this in, I think, a really vulnerable way. And honestly, no judgments there. I feel like people are really brutal on TikTok and they can really come after you. So this young woman talked about Kylan and how she's blowing up on social media, and she confessed that she thinks that it's not fair. She sees Kylan and wants the best for her, but she says, why her and why not me? Now, this young woman that created this TikTok, and I'm gonna link all of this here and you guys can go and check this out. I'm gonna link it in the description so you can see it for yourself. So this young woman is 26 years old and clearly is trying to do something in that influencing world or has aspirations for that. And it just so happens that this video that she made in response to Kylan blowing up is really, I think, blowing up for her. And it's brought about a lot of very interesting conversations that I really wanted to discuss on the channel today for so many reasons. So first and foremost, I think it's not so common for college freshmen or sophomores, I think Kylan's a college freshman, to be styled head to toe in designer pieces. Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, all of those designer pieces, Cartier, she's got it all, right? So I would assume that these pieces were purchased for her by parents. I could be wrong, these could be sponsored, I don't know. But clearly these aren't common things for young women her age to be wearing. Now, she does make a disclosure on her TikTok account where she says that she's sharing her outfits with everybody for fun because it's a part of the process of Bama Rush Week. She's like, that's not what it's all about. That's not what they're looking for in a sorority, but the outfits are a fun part of it that she gets to share with everybody else. And so obviously, if you're gonna be sharing about these designer pieces, a lot of people can come after you. They can make assumptions about you. They can become quite jealous of you, as this other young woman confessed. And it's really interesting because I heard somebody say this week that what jealousy really is desire. So the reason that we feel jealousy is because we desire something that somebody else has. And I felt like that truly resonated with me. I understand that. I was like, you know what, that makes so much sense. And you kind of can't help but see young women like Kylan and feel jealous if she has something that you want, whether that's the designer clothes or whether it's the instant fame, so to speak, on TikTok. And I think that that's a pretty normal feeling to have, and I think it's a feeling that should always be addressed. If you feel that, it's okay, but you don't want to let those feelings consume you and allow you to become a bitter person. So I just have a little bit of advice. There are always going to be Kylans of the world, and to many people she seems like this overnight success, that she has it all. Friends, nobody has it all. Nobody's life is perfect, and remember, everybody's showing that highlight reel of themselves on social media, so always be very, very aware of that. The other point I want to make is that nobody is truly an overnight success. There's a quote that I love, and it's something like, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. It doesn't actually just happen. People finally get to know who you are once you reach a point later in your life that they consider you to be successful, but nothing really happens overnight. There's work that goes into that. And I first became aware of Kylan in 2011 when she won the National All-American Miss Junior Preteen title. And I will never forget her at nationals. And if you're unfamiliar with this pageant system, her age range at that point was between 7 to 9 years old. That was her division, so she was quite young. And I just remember she was this beautiful little girl, always smiling, so beautiful. She was like very tan, had very blonde hair. She wore this beautiful white gown, which you can see right here. I wish I had better images for you with a better resolution. But she's been competing in pageants for years, so she has developed so much confidence on camera, essentially creating her own brand. She also tried competing in the Miss America system. She held a local title there for Ohio, and so it's like she didn't become Miss America's Outstanding Teen, so she hasn't always had success in every single thing that she does. But once you see somebody like this blow up on social media, it can appear that way. It can appear that way because you don't know their story, you don't know their journey. Now, like I said, it's not the norm for young women her age to be dressed head to toe in these designer pieces. One might assume that these pieces are purchased for her from parents, or like I said, they could be sponsored. I don't know where she's getting these pieces, but it's really difficult for so many young women to not compare themselves to the Kylans of the world. And here's what I want to say. They're out there. They're going to be out there. They're going to be these young women that seem to have it all. And I just don't want it to discourage you ever because your journey is different. It just so happens that in life, there's a way that I like to think of it. If you think of life kind of like a baseball game, there's your home plate, there's first base, second base, third base, and you got to get all the way around to get that home run. So some of us in our lives, we may start out warming the bench. We may be in the dugout. We may not even play a game at first, okay? That might be where you're starting out in life. That's where I felt like I was starting out in life. I'm kind of like behind other people, right? Then we have some others like the Kylans of the world who start on second base. They have advantages that you and I might not have by nature of their birth. Maybe because of choices that their ancestors made decades before that allowed them to be successful, that allowed them to share that success with young women like Kylan. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I want to encourage you with is that yes, there may be young women like Kylan who start life on second base, third base, whatever you want to say. But don't let that discourage you from playing the game. Don't look at young women like that and sit in the dugout and just accept that the life you were given, that your current situation is going to be life for you forever. That is something that I refused to accept. So instead of looking at young women like Kylan and saying, I want what she has, and feeling bitter or angry towards her, I channeled that desire that I had to get things that I wanted in my life into my actions so I could change my circumstance. I would encourage you to look at young women like that and say, this is what is possible, and to actually just be inspired by it and say, yes, maybe she started on second base and I'm over here in the dugout and I'm gonna have to work harder, but I can still get there. And I feel like if you watch my channel, if you go all the way back to the beginning, if you look at my journey, and if you've been here in this journey and you've seen me go from 0 subscribers to 100,000, which blows my mind, and it is so humbling and it's such a great honor that I have this audience now. Yes, there were people that had a head start. Yes, there are people that have advantages, but it doesn't mean that there's not room for you also to succeed. There are so many opportunities in life. There will be an opportunity for you. And that's really what I hope that young women can take away from this. And the other thing I want to say is specific to the pageant industry. And that's just this. There will be young women like Kylan that you might compete against. Young women that to you might seem like they have it all, or they might seem like they have an advantage, and you look at them and you're like, well, of course the organization is going to want to pick them. This girl, this girl has everything. Please do not go into any competition with that type of attitude, because it's just not going to help you. It's not going to help you get any closer to your goal if you're just thinking about young women like Kylan, for example. If you're competing against a young woman like this that has sponsored brand deals, that has millions of views on TikTok, don't take yourself out of the competition before it's even started, because the reality is that no one is unbeatable. But I can guarantee that if you go into any competition focused on other young women and not focused on yourself, on your personal growth, on your strengths, and on what you came there to do, that you will be beat before that competition has ever started, because you've already lost in here. And the fact is that if you want to win on any pageant stage, if you want to win in life, you need to win here first. You need to see that you are the winner. You need to first believe that, because there's going to be no way that you can actually fake that when you go into an interview and when you go on stage. Judges see through it. And the confidence that winners have is a true belief in self, that I believe I'm worthy. I believe I deserve this. I believe I'm most qualified. I believe I can do this. So my encouragement to you, because this is just 1 year of Miss Teen USA, and this is not going to stop, friends. As social media continues to grow, there will be more and more social media influencer stars that compete in pageantry. They might have huge followings and you might have none, and that is okay. That's okay. It does not guarantee a win for them. It does not guarantee a loss for you. So do not let social media stats and numbers discourage you from your dreams. Don't let them stop you. And that is really, really, really an important message that I need to share with all of you, because friends, this stuff is not going away. And if you aren't actively passionate about building your following on social media, which honestly I encourage a lot of my clients to do, not because everybody should be a social media influencer, not because of that, but I encourage a lot of my clients to start building their brand online in the event that they want to go that way. In the event that they want more opportunities in their life. Just have it as an option. It doesn't hurt to have it as an option, because you can always stop posting, you can always shut it down. Of course you can always do that. But you might reach points in your life or competitions where you realize, gosh, I really wish I would have started building an audience earlier, because that audience would have helped with fan votes. That's a really big part of pageantry right now, fan votes. Now a lot of pageants are incorporating social media contests. And if you've already worked on building your community, your audience, your following, that can help you achieve other goals down the road. You just never know when it's going to come in handy. So that's why I encourage contestants to be really self-aware of that. That's one thing that I teach to my one-on-one clients, but I also offer a course for it called the Content Queen course. So if you want to learn about those basics and what you can be doing to up-level your social media presence, check that out. I will actually link that in the description below. It's not something that I talk about as often as I should, but it is something that I do offer to contestants, and I would encourage you to check it out. I just thought that this was a really interesting thing to talk about, because I think it's going to be happening more and more in pageantry, and I think it's something important to address. The human feelings that we have of jealousy that people don't want to talk about, because they are very, very real. But it's like, when you feel those things, what do we do with those emotions? How can we allow them to benefit us? You can take those feelings of jealousy, you can recognize them as desire, and you can channel them into your actions so that you could actually change your situation and get closer to whatever it is that you do desire. Because if you really, really want something, if you stay focused on it, you can have it. You can have it. And that's really what I wanted to talk about in today's episode. This I know is going to be a really interesting, I think, topic of conversation. So feel free to share your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. But let's keep it kind, friends. Let's be respectful to one another. Let's still be encouraging of one another, because that's really what this channel is about. That's what I want it to be about. Yes, of course, we can share our opinions, but let's respect one another and choose kindness. Thank you for tuning into this episode, though. I really hope that you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different from what I normally do, but if you'd like to see other content like this, then just comment your suggestions below. I'd love to hear from you. But thank you for joining me, and if you want to see some other recent episodes, I suggest checking these ones out right here. I hope that you will really like those ones too and come back for lots more. I'll see you next time.